father and mother-in-law, both primary school teachers.
Really work for the children and the society. It's a pleasure to work with.
Father, my son. Say good morning, Father. Shake hands. Say good morning, Father. Father. He is the Vice Chancellor of St. Xavier's University. You are at St. Xavier's School, University, head of the university.
All great things start on a small scale, and all great movements begin with action. Today, we gather here to start a revolutionary phase in the glorious chapter of this illustrious school, the inauguration of the Robotics Lab, as part of the 25th anniversary celebration of St. John's School. We extend a very warm welcome to His Excellency Mr. Jalio, Mr. Rajiv Kumar, Reverend Father Felix Raj, sisters from Lavinia House, distinguished guests, our friends from the media houses, teachers, students, and the greater St. John's family to his auspicious occasion. We are extremely honored to have amongst us His Excellency Mr. Jalio, the Consul General of People's Republic of China in Kolkata. He works tirelessly towards strengthening the bond between India and China and encourages close cooperation between the two countries. He has also served his country in various capacities around the world. We thank His Excellency for taking out of his time, his busy schedule, to inaugurate our robotics laboratory today. We are also privileged and extremely fortunate to have with us on this important occasion respected Mr. Rajiv Kumar, IPS, Principal Secretary of Information Technology and Electronics Department, Government of West Bengal. Thank you, sir, for inspiring us with your presence today and gracing this august gathering as the guest of honor. We are fortunate and thrilled to have with us Reverend Father John Felix Raj, the founder Vice Chancellor of St. Xavier's University, Kolkata. He is a Jesuit priest of the Kolkata province of the Society of Jesus. He was a rector from 1996 to 2002 and the principal from 2009 to 2017 of St. Xavier's College, Kolkata. His contribution to the field of education over the years is praiseworthy. We thank you, Father, for being present here today as the guest of honor and look forward to your guidance and support. Now, some of our students will perform Saraswati Vandana, invoking the goddess of knowledge.
या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहार धवला या शुभ्र वस्त्रावृता या वीणा वरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेत पद्मासना अच्युत शङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवै सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेष जाड्या भारत में भर दे वर दे वर दे वीणा वादिनी वर दे काट अंधौड़ के बंधन स्तर जननी ज्योतिर्मय निर्झर कलुष भेद तम हर प्रकाश भर जगमग जग कर दे वर दे वर दे वीणा वादिनी वर दे वर दे वर दे नवगति नवलय ताल छंद नव नवलकंठ नव जलद मंद्र रव नव नभ के नव विहग वृंद को नव पर नव स्वर दे वर दे वर दे वीणा वादिनी वर दे वर दे वर दे वीणा वादिनी वर दे प्रिय स्वतंत्र रव अमृत मंत्र नव भारत में भर दे वर दे वर दे वीणा वादिनी वर दे वीणा वादिनी वर दे वीणा वादिनी वर दे
St. Joan students will now present potted plants to their esteemed guest as a token of our love and appreciation. We now request the dignitaries to please proceed to light the lamp and unveil the inauguration plaque. Thereafter, proceed towards inauguration of the Robotics laboratory. In the meantime, our student of class 9A, Master Abir Adhikari, will entertain you with a piano recital of the two pieces, Centuries and Mono D.
Hello.
how this works. Yes, one piece is taken. I had to leave it on. Can I show you? Firstly, these are two ultrasonic sensors. They emit ultrasonic waves just like yes, just like that. They are blind, but they don't collide. So these ultrasonic sensors sense the distance of the distant obstacle, and then these are converted into electronic signals, which are then transmitted to the microcontroller, which is the Arduino Uno. Now this Arduino Uno acts like a decision maker and decides whether this model has to turn left or right, depending upon the direction of the object. So this decision has to be interpreted by the last actuator. The actuator here is the motor shape, which then performs the decision of turning this left or right, and that's how this works. Last but not the least, we have a fan and a DC motor, which creates the vacuum or the suction force, which actually sucks out the dust particles and
Why don't you try those papers there? I get to work there. Yeah, so the surface was really good. Yeah, the suction, the vacuum suction has always been more.
see, technology is already
Yeah.
here.
Good. It starts good.
All the papers are yes. And already these things are in the market, but most of the time we don't know how they're working. What is their actual working? Every day comes from scratch.
Today companies like Xiaomi, Samsung, Dyson are making these products and selling them in the market.
It is the IoT principle, Internet of Things. It is a basically three-layer principle. First is the ultrasonic sensor, which converts external stimuli into executable stimuli. Then it passes the stimuli via the jumper wires. This microcontroller. The microcontroller is the Arduino. This microcontroller is stimuli to the main actuator. That is the servo motor. Servo motor is a kind of stepper motor which can rotate at any precise axis. This accuracy gives us the required navigation.
Hello.
Of 90, it will turn around its left and right and take the object and it will move back. So in that direction it's completely direction so that it takes the distance to the main direction.
So, the software is there already loaded around?
Yes, like we have designed it using a code which will detect the distance it is calculating by both the sides and the distance which is the furthest it will move in that direction.
Yes. And which for coding what which language will you use?
Embedded C. It is a mixture of Java and C. And so this is a simple remote control car. It works on the principle like the main circuit is this Arduino Uno, which we have coded for transmitting and receiving the data. This is a HC05 Bluetooth module which will receive the data from the phone which I will use to control it using an app which is a pre-developed.
You put it there or?
There is a buzzer and then this lights.
Technology always fails when it's not supposed to. Don't worry.
And coding part students are going to learn. The purpose of this lab is we can teach them from scratch how one single step of coding is done. Not only preloaded code.
As you can see that there are two infrared sensors. This white one is a transmitter and this black one is a receiver. The white and black color. White color is which reflects all the spectrum and black color is the reflects all the spectrum. So we can use this infrared sensor as an order taking and a food serving robot in Amazon warehouses. We can have food serving.
It's able to change the tape.
And when both the receivers are order detects the black color, it stops. And when none of the receiver is detecting the black, so it's moving the screen forward.
Except you have to tell us the science.
ಅಲ್ಲ 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 ಡೆಡ್ಲೈನ್ ಊಟ
What's your name, madam? This is the distance between your hand and mountable portion so that person can mount it on his stick. It might be I'm saying the a separate thing so that you can mount it on his stick.
It works with the help of your phone. It detects our hand gestures and move in the right direction or the left direction.
No, but that.
So it's moving right now. So you'll have to hold the phone straight. No, sir, it's a tilt. It's not a.
This is a project based on the IoT architecture. Then we have used an ultrasonic sensor here. So and we have, as per the code, we have set the distance to be 5 centimeters. And if the distance measured is more than 5 centimeters, then it averts falling off from the edges and it.
The thing they have put so that it doesn't fall.
Chinese companies regarding technology and China.
I think I'll not have much to say, but I'll tell a story. Most of the students must have heard about Steve Jobs and must have used HP printer. So H stands for Hewlett there. This is a story that Steve Jobs was around 12 years old, like a small young kid studying in a school. And what he goes to say, he said he was very taken. You people are much more advanced than what I saw in the lab today. But at that time there used to be a frequency counter. HP was making frequency counters. Frequency counters are one which count number of things. So it's on a LED. If there are 4, it has counted 4, and you press one more, it will show 5. That's a small thing. So Steve Jobs was very taken in by this new thing, and he looked up in the telephone directory. I think most of the young kids must have seen. We, the older people, have seen those used to be like this thick, and you can kind of, he looked up his number, Hewlett, his name was Bill Hewlett, and he looked up the number and called. Mr. Hewlett, I am Steve Jobs, I am 12-year-old, and could you spare some parts? I wanted to make a frequency counter. And this fellow Hewlett, Mr. Hewlett, he laughed and he said yes. He sent him this thing. He gave him an internship, summer internship at his place. He goes on to narrate that as a kids, some of us don't ask, sometimes we are too shy. We don't, he says that I have never been turned down. As a kid, you must, whatever you are feeling, whatever you are asked, not only to your parents. I think kids ask only their parents, but they're hesitant to ask other people. Please ask. It doesn't matter if sometimes people will refuse. He goes on to say that nobody refused me, and there are 2 lessons to be taken. One is, when somebody approaches you, you help him. And second is, you don't hesitate in asking things in case if you feel the need for, and people, in most of the time will they show their goodness, will come for help. I thought this story will motivate young students. You see, when you grow adult, the chance, the failure, the failure will kind of, you will be little averse to failure. You would always want to be right. But at this age, you can take failures. It doesn't matter if somebody refuses you, somebody doesn't say no to you. The creativity comes out of ability to take failure. I think I'll say that and finish my monologue, I suppose. And thank you very much for inviting me, Mrs. Ghosh. I'm really honored to give me a chance to talk to students. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now, the Bengali choir will present a Rabindra Sangeet, Borisho Dhara Majhe Shantiro Bani.
St. John's School is a co-educational English medium higher secondary school affiliated to CISCE, New Delhi. Emphasis is put on academic rigor at the school, and a structural routine of extra and co-curricular activities help students bring out their personal best. The kindergarten section of the school, St. John's KG School, was founded 35 years ago, 29 January 1987, by our dear principal ma'am, Mrs. Devjani Ghosh, as she had a vision to provide quality and holistic education to students residing in the Salt Lake area. The current school building of St. John's School was inaugurated by Excellency Mr. K.V. Raghunatha Reddy, the then Governor of West Bengal, on 28 April 1997, and the school started functioning from 16 June 1997 from class 1 to 8 and is celebrating its 25th anniversary this year. Now, the KG class students will perform a dance Chiquitita by ABBA.
Chiquitita, tell me what's wrong. You're enchained by your own sorrow. In your eyes, there is no hope for tomorrow. How I hate to see you like this. There is no way you can deny it. I can see that you're oh so sad, so quiet. Chiquitita, tell me the truth. I'm a shoulder you can cry on. Your best friend, I'm the one you must rely on. You were always sure of yourself. Now I see you've broken a feather. How it hurts to see you sad. I hope we can patch it up together. Chiquitita, you and I know how the heartaches come and they go, and the scars they're leaving. You'll be dancing once again, and the pain will end. You will have no time for grieving. Chiquitita, you and I cry, but the sun is still in the sky and shining above you. The sun is shining. Let me hear you sing once more, like you did before. Sing a new song, Chiquitita. Try once more, like you did before. Sing a new song, Chiquitita. So the walls came tumbling down, and your love's a blown out candle. All is gone, and it seems too hard to handle. Chiquitita, tell me the truth. There is no way you can deny it. I see that you're oh so sad, so quiet. Chiquitita, you and I know how the heartaches come and they go, and the scars they're leaving. All the heartaches you'll be dancing once again, and the pain will end. You will have no time
Maria Montessori had once famously remarked that education cannot be effective unless it helps a child open up himself to life. Our school strives tirelessly towards achieving this goal. Every child is nurtured in a holistic educational environment from the tender kindergarten years to the threshold of adulthood. We draw inspiration from the strong moral values that our principal ma'am strives to inculcate in each of us. Through her encouragement, we have embarked upon the modern digitalized world riding on the rich moral, cultural, and historical traditions of our country. We know right from wrong, good from bad. Our school cherishes a truly cosmopolite education culture that will help transform us into world citizens promoting internationalism and communality centric values. We are groomed in such a way that teaching, learning, and assessments become a part of our daily routine from an early age. Innovative incorporation of modern technology and digital tools have greatly helped us progress through the teaching learning process, specifically during the pandemic situation. Technology enhanced learning is available to us right from our formative kindergarten years to high school. Our teachers continue to engage us through interactive and motivating techniques and discourses and computer-aided presentations. The digital infrastructure of our school is praiseworthy indeed. With the help of the modern tools of learning, our students have scaled new heights of academic excellence, which is quite evident from the brilliant results in the ICC and ISC examinations. Through the successive years, where the students have secured topmost ranks and our successful alumni are a testimony. This year, Deboshmita Pal has secured second position in West Bengal's merit list with 99.4% in the ICSC examination, and Chirag Gupta from 12th Commerce has secured fifth position in the West Bengal's merit list with 98.75% in the ISC examinations.
We now request Reverend Father Felix Raj to kindly say a few words.
Ma'am Devjani Ghosh and all the family members, teachers and my dear students. Let me take this opportunity to congratulate St. Joan School and all the teachers and students for the great advancement in science and technology in the school. I think you have done a marvelous job. You deserve a big hand for yourself. My message is to follow a small incident that happened in the city of Chennai. You know, today is the era of robotics. You find robots everywhere now. Even robotic therapy is used for robotic operations now. And so there is a restaurant that has introduced robots as servers. But then the question is, when you program and make a robot, you will have to remember the programs that you have done. Some people tend to forget. And so the robot that is supposed to be under your control becomes your master. And so what happened, there was a robot, of course, asking for the order from two visitors. And these fellows, instead of placing the order, they were playing with the robot. And the robot gave one of them a big slap. He had to be taken to the hospital. This is what happens, you see. Artificial intelligence is an extension of human intelligence. And so an artificial intelligence can never be superior to the human intelligence. It is always controlled. But an artificial intelligence is more accurate. And that is why robotic therapy is used today. A small operation I think you use a robotic system and scheme there. They say human beings make errors and mistakes, but a robot can never, because you have programmed it. And the power of programming is in your mind. And so, artificial intelligence is an extension of human intelligence, and that's the advancement that we have made. And I want to congratulate the students and the teachers of this institution for taking a step towards this. And the next generation, I don't know what it would be, because things are changing very fast. Everything is becoming instant. Everything is becoming instrumental. And so while congratulating all of you, let's look forward to the changes that are taking place, but let these changes be constructive and not destructive. Let these changes bring people together and build communities and not make us individuals individualistic. Because today we want to be islands. We don't want to be the sea. And so I want to congratulate you once again, especially Ma'am Debjani Ghosh, for the wonderful steps that you have taken in establishing this school and imparting such wonderful quality education to all the students. You are all welcome to the University of St. Xavier's. It's just next door. Okay, the doors are open after they complete here. They are welcome to St. Xavier's University. God bless you and thank you very much.
Come closer.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Country roads take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia.
And you? I was in West Virginia once. Thank you. Sweet. Good. Anyone else? Good. Mrs. Devajani Ghosh, Mrs. Jacinta Sureka, Mrs. Lucia Gupta, management and students of St. Joan School. Very, very good afternoon to all of you. You know, it always feels good to be back on campus. Seeing your smiling faces really remind me of my good old times. And when our kids sang the song West Virginia, my wife and I, we spent 3 years in Washington, D.C. and San Francisco for another 3.5 years. We drove for once from Washington, D.C. to San Francisco, 6,000 kilometers. It's a good memory. So when I started my job as the Chinese Consul General in Kolkatta, it's another great country. You know, I started my diplomatic service, foreign service from China, from Beijing, all the way to the United States, and then returned back to Asia, to India, this great, great country. I feel so warm and honored to be in Kolkata, West Bengal, not West Virginia, West Bengal. You have beautiful mountains. You have great rivers. So back on campus, I told Mrs. Ghosh that my wife and I, we have a wonderful family of a humble background. My father and mother-in-law both are retired primary school teachers in their 80s. So every time I have not been back to China for the last 3 years due to pandemic. So in the good old times, when I go back to China, go back to Fujian province to join my in-laws in Fujian province, it always feels wonderful to see the generations of graduates, students of my parents-in-law, visiting them every festivity. So these students in their 50s and 60s, whenever they, visit their retired teacher, almost like father, they would do something not exactly the same, but very like touch your feet here. Because they are very senior, they have educated generations of students who have made contribution to the country. So St. Joan School, 25 years. It's a wonderful time to celebrate because 25 years is good enough to be in our prime age. It's a wonderful time that we just leave our university campus. I feel very pleased to see Father Felix Raj here, because when you get to the university, since 18 years, so you graduate in another, 4 years after undergraduation and 6 years, including graduate studies. So 25 years is wonderful to say hello to our teachers that I have a good national rank number 1, number 2, number 3. So St. Joan has brought up brought up many people like this, making contribution to your great country. Here is my message to you. I feel very glad to see the robots running on the table. You have smart minds and brains. And also I'm very pleased to be told that Joan would run something very different. If I understand correctly, a Chinese language course. When you are successful, you will know that the logics of running or designing the robots, it's almost like I'm a language student. I learn English. I know West Virginia. I know Tennessee. I know Virginia very well. Running and designing the robots or robotics is very similar to learning a foreign language. Actually, we smart kids, good at science and technology and engineering, learns foreign languages very fast. I can assure you, very, very fast. I wish those who are in the lab keep my message in mind. There is something wonderful waiting for you. China is just your neighbor, just like St. Joan's School is my neighbor in CD block. Is that right? We are in the neighborhood. China and India are in the neighborhood. I can 120% guarantee, 120% guarantee, or if not more, okay? Every word I say to you is true. Trust me. Learn Chinese well to do something wonderful for you. First, there are great Indian thinkers, monks, philosophers traveling to China over history. So you are not the first one to do so, and you will not be the last to finish. Be one of them. Be one of the ambassadors. Be one of the messengers traveling to China to convey what you have. Second, to learn something from that great country that might be equally useful as you do from the United States. So I'm very glad you sing, Country Road, Take Me Home. And there are good Chinese songs, but it's harder for you to learn. This is the dilemma. It's harder to learn, but it's equally useful for you to learn. Chinese schools, some of the Chinese schools are equally exceptional in engineering, in science and technology, in philosophy. I don't know Sanskrit. I don't know Bengali literature, but I know you have impacted China in a very big way by gifting Buddhism to China, by gifting Rabindranath Tagore to China. Swami Vivekananda traveled to China, Hong Kong for 3 days. That was his only touch on China. Maybe if he is producing big impact, in the world, that is the very tiny portion of his thought in China. I hope that you do more by learning Chinese, by conveying your knowledge to China. Chinese Yunnan province maybe has one of the very, very few, if not the only, yoga degree program in Chinese university. 3, recently I have visited quite some schools. The last one is Joy T. Moy Public School in the south, to the southeast of Kolkatta. The founding father of this school, 19 years old school, over the last 18, 20 years, I was told they have sent around 2,000 kids to Chinese medical universities for medical degrees. You want to do this? Yeah? I have met many of them, the returnees, these medical doctors in West Bengal, hundreds of them. They have returned from China successfully with a degree and with a very high passing rate of MBBS. They have served the community very well. I talked to quite some of them. I asked them, do you feel satisfied with the education? They said, absolutely. Do you think you are having a good paid job here in West Bengal? They said, absolutely. I feel very comfortable hearing this. But here's my point. While I congratulate you on the success of St. Joan School 25 years anniversary, here is my message. I talked to West Bengal Minority Affairs Finance Cooperation Program for 1 hour on education in China. I told them China is not only known for its medical degrees, many of whom have medical doctors, medical degree holders from the United States, from the UK, like India. But Chinese homegrown doctors are equally good. But China is not only known for this. China is known for its engineering. Look at the Chinese massive bullet train manufacturing capability. Look at China's national highway network. Look at China's, I should mention that Chinese AI, China aerospace technologies. I think in the last few days, we have launched a couple of good spacecrafts. Chinese taikonauts are still on the station working. So what I'm saying, if you have already chosen, it's your choice. If you have not made up your mind, China is a very good destination. At least it's very affordable, very cost effective, and the quality is good. And last not least, I noticed there are many young faces here. I'm sure most of us are young students. Plan your future with a balanced views. Read as many as possible, read as much as possible, read from different angles, from as many angles as possible. Chinese language, for language lovers, this is easy. For those you might not be sure of whether it is worth learning. I can tell you, I'm a Chinese, I learned English in China, totally in China. So I get trained by my teacher, only in China, and then I use them. So you can see that whether my speech is effective for you. So make a choice for yourself. It will be something wonderful for you to explore. Because something, you are not so familiar, it doesn't mean that it's not over there. The beauty of a foreign land await your exploration. That's why we need to go to the United States, go to the UK, go to Germany, go to anywhere you choose to learn something wonderful for your family, for your career, and for our country. So when at the beginning I said that be an ambassador, be a messenger between India and another good neighbor. It's not, it's our job. Because in history, we have always been on good terms. So I'm in your neighborhood. Visit me anytime. Your students, you can come by groups, by grades, by category. Robotics students, literature students, singing songs, art. I was told that volleyball is not very popular yet, and we can do something together. Chinese language, if you initiate the program, I'm one of your most important sponsor. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Happy birthday.
Now, our respected principal ma'am will felicitate the guests with mementos as a token of our appreciation. While she does this, Abir Adhikari of 9A will entertain you with a piano recital with the pieces No 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 and Transformers Prime.
At the outset, on behalf of Principal Ma'am and the St. John's family, I would like to take this opportunity to thank His Excellency Mr. Zha Liu, the Consul General of the People's Republic of China in Kolkatta, for inaugurating our laboratory and for his motivating words. We thank Mr. Rajiv Kumar, IPS, Principal Secretary of Information Technology and Electronics Department, Government of West Bengal, and Reverend Father Felix Raj, Vice Chancellor of St. Xavier's University, Kolkata, for taking time out of their busy schedule to witness the inauguration of the Robotics Laboratory and sharing their valuable insights. Thank you to our Lavinia House sisters and all other dignitaries, guests, friends from the media, and everyone present here today, making this event momentous. At St. John's School, robotics was integrated in the physics and computer science curriculum, and students showcased their work during the annual physics and computer science exhibitions, namely Exorgic and Cyberscape, creating drones, remote control cars, showcasing various computer projects, etc., which gave them an opportunity to think out of the box and apply their knowledge. However, now, with a designated robotics laboratory, students will be able to use various computer softwares to give their thoughts a structure. They will use Arduinos to design and execute their ideas, creating projects and robots. It will allow collaboration, teamwork, and the development of productive, creative, digital, and communicative skills that will become an engine of innovation. The goal for the robotics laboratory is to prepare students with the 21st century skills required for the jobs of the future. Students will also be trained to use the 3D printer to create various 3D models. The curriculum of the robotics laboratory includes integration of machine learning, artificial intelligence, mechanics, programming, and computing. The robotics laboratory's equipment have been procured from Techie Guide under the guidance of Ms. Sushi Sri Elora Jena. Techie Guide is a GEM registered vendor for Atal Tinkering Laboratories. The school has also hired a trainer, Mr. Prashant Tiwari from Techie Guide, for Train the Trainer program for our STEM teachers. We convey our gratitude to them for their help and cooperation. On this note, I thank you all for being here today. Your presence has surely made our 25th anniversary celebrations memorable. Thank you and namaskar.
Now, we come to the end of our program, seeking God's blessing on us with the song, May the good Lord bless and keep you, which will be presented by the English choir.